11 on ABC North Coast. It's very hard to follow in the footsteps of some of the great piano players of all time, but for Brazil's Newton Wolff, he's making a name for himself around the world as one of the best pianists going. He arrived in Australia earlier this year on a scholarship from the Sydney International Piano Masterclass Festival, and he's continuing his studies here in Lismore with the Conservatorium of Music. His teacher is Wendy Turner, and I welcome them both to the studio. Good morning.
Thank you, Jo.
Good morning.
How did you come to be here, Newton?
I had the scholarship to go to the Sydney International Masterclass Festival. I never imagined in my life to come to Australia. That's my way to come. And I had been invited to do my recital during the festival. It was the first recital in the festival, and 4 master classes with the American teacher, John Perry. And that's my way to come to Australia.
How old were you when you first started playing?
I started when I was 4 in Brazil.
Fantastic. Your parents obviously had a piano. Are they musical themselves?
No, actually, my grandfather was playing the guitar in the church, but not professional. I am not the only professional musician in my family.
Wow. And you were telling me that you grew up in a very beautiful part of a very beautiful country. What's your part of Brazil like?
Yeah, I really grew up in São Paulo downtown, the biggest city in South America. But now I am living in a beautiful island in the north coast of São Paulo, called Ilha Bela.
What's it like?
The meaning of beautiful island. Ilha Bela is the meaning of beautiful island. It has more than 50 beaches and 300 waterfalls around the rainforest. It's a very tropical place. It's very beautiful. The name is right. It's very beautiful island.
What styles of music do you like to play?
Actually, in that time, I get specialized in Brazilian contemporary music, especially in the composer Amaral Vieira. I am studying with him, and I have lessons with him on his music to come to Australia and play for the first time. That pieces, for example, I will play in my evening concert. It was composed in 1982, and he is very famous and acclaimed, for example, in Japan and Taiwan. But here in Australia, his music is being played for the first time by me.
Fantastic. What are you going to play for us now?
I am playing 7 pieces for piano, opus 169. I can play the 3, 1, 2, and 3.
Sounds fabulous. Thank you.
Amaral Vieira.
On ABC North Coast, Newton Wolff is my guest. He's a Brazilian pianist. He's come to the Northern Rivers to study at the Conservatorium with Wendy Turner. On ABC North Coast, that was fantastic. Newton Wolff is my guest in the studio, Brazilian pianist, and he's giving a concert tonight, as it happens, at the Conservatorium of Music. It starts at 6:30 p.m. in the concert room of the Northern Rivers Conservatorium in Lismore. Newton, what is it that you like in pianists, in good piano playing? Is there a certain sensitivity that somebody who is very, very good at playing the piano has?
Yeah, the piano music is incredible because it's a great instrument. You have lots of things to do. The piano gives you lots of different kinds of sounds, and you have, especially in a grand concert piano, you have the opportunity to express what you want, because the instrument gives you this opportunity. That's I think it's more impressive at the piano, because you have what you want from the instrument.
What do you think it is that Newton has? What's his gift?
He does play with a lot of sensitivity. He plays in a variety of styles. His Bach performances are really quite exquisite. His technique for Bach is just so suitable, and the tone and the touch that he gets in his Bach playing and classical stuff is just as fine as when he's playing the Brazilian music. And tonight you'll hear our concert grand piano, which has been refurbished, and it's beautiful. So it's a really good quality instrument.
So to say it's something somewhat better than our little
Well,
piano here at the
I wasn't going to
ABC,
say
our
that,
humble
yes.
little piano at the ABC.
Yes.
So, what is it that makes you mentioned that there's a particular way of playing Bach that is essential to do it well. What is that?
You have to have in a lot of pieces a fairly non-legato touch, and you have to make
Legato meaning?
Very smooth. So it's not as smooth, not quite as connected between the notes, and you need to have all the parts equally important. Whereas later music, you often have the left hand a lot softer than the right hand, which has the tune, but Bach is all melody, and Newton understands this very well and portrays Bach beautifully. You'll hear some Bach tonight.
What do you hope to be able to do with Newton in the time that you're working together?
Well, there are some technical issues that we're working on, just finer details of piano technique that we've been working on, yes.
Newton, what do you hope to achieve from your time here?
I have a great time here in Australia. I'm loving this country, and the opportunity to have my lessons with Mrs. Wend, it's why I am in Australia. Because when I came, I was thinking about, okay, I go to Australia, do my concert and be a student and do the Sydney Masterclass Festival, but I need keep studying and playing piano, and I need a great teacher. And if I can find a great teacher, I can stay in Australia. If not, I just stay like 1 month to know for sure. It's a great opportunity, but I will need to come back to Brazil and keep studying with the composer, my master classes. And my stay in Australia, it depends if I can or not to find a great conservatoire with a great piano to have my practicing and a great piano teacher. And fortunately, I found it here in Lismore with the Northern Rivers Conservatoire Art Center. I can have my practice at the refurbished grand concert piano wherever I need, and I have a great teacher to help me with my technique and everything I want. I need.
Fantastic. What do you ultimately hope to do? Would you like to spend your career travelling the world stage performing?
Yeah, I have another scholarship to attend in Italy in a music festival, not just a piano festival. It's a big music festival, and brought by Ente Castello di Veglio. I will be a student in master classes with the teacher Fabio Luz. He's a Brazilian teacher living in Italy for about 40 years, and I will do another recital there during the festival, and brought by the BF International Artists from New York. It's a really big music festival in Europe, and I have the scholarship to go there. And I'm doing this concert to raise the money to the airfares to go to Italy. So the entries by free donations to my airfares. It's a raising. And after, my plan is come back to Brazil in October, because I have Australia visa to November. Come back to Brazil, and the composer Amaral Vieira is waiting for me with the music copy of his latest piano compositions. He has more than 500 compositions, and his latest piano is Japanese watercolors and Taiwanese watercolors. And I will come back to Brazil in October and prepare 2 recitals, full program of his music, and come back to Asia to play in Japan, a full program with the Japanese watercolors, and in Taiwan, another program with his music with the Taiwanese watercolors. I need to stay minimum 6 months studying in Brazil with him to do it. And when I come back, I hope so much to come back to Australia actually and play the 2 concerts here.
Oh, it sounds like you're very, very dedicated to learning your craft and the art of being a world-class piano player.
Yeah,
Hear you talk about it.
Yeah, especially music from my country, from Brazil, and contemporary, because I have the opportunity to learn from the old composer. It's a great way to get a career, because I have lessons with him. He wrote the music, and I have the opportunity to learn from him, and to come back to Asia to play 2 concerts, full program of his music. To me, it sounds like a great opportunity to learn from him and go around the world playing his music.
Well, it sounds like your musical career is in hand. In the meantime, are there other things that you would like to do while you're here in Australia?
Here in Australia, so pianist's life is difficult, because you need to have full time to the instrument, like 8% of my time I stay on the piano, having my practice and learning, for example, his music, and I actually, on the island where I live, I like, when I have time, I go to the beach and relax and know better this beautiful country and his people.
Fantastic. Well, it's been a great pleasure to have you in. Thank you so much for playing for us and for sharing some of your story.
Thank you.
Newton Wolf, piano player from Brazil, and of course Wendy Turner, his teacher from the Conservatorium. If you want to help Newton get to Italy, get along to that concert tonight, 6:30 p.m. at the Conservatorium in Lismore. Time for me to go. It's 11 o'clock.